Hi there everyone, welcome once again to the Train Aid HQ. My name is Nick and in today's video we are looking at the Level 3 Certificate in Assessing Vocational Achievement, otherwise known as the CAVA course, and we are looking at how to plan and carry out your very own workplace assessments. Please like and subscribe to the Train Aid YouTube account to receive the latest updates and videos from the team. Just a reminder, the difference between workplace and vocational settings. Vocational assessments take place within a training situation, and the assessments are going to focus on the learner's knowledge of a particular subject, whereas workplace is assessing your learner's day-to-day skills. Can they carry out their job effectively? Okay. Workplace often is in the presence of clients or customers or even other colleagues as well. Okay, some different examples, okay, is the fitness industry. You could be assessing a learner who's perhaps carrying out a gym induction to a new client, whereas the hairdressing industry could be you observing a hairdresser cutting hair of a customer, and so that is an example of workplace. If unsure on any assessing ideas, please get in contact with the team and we'll discuss the different vocational and workplace assessments for your own particular area. Now we're going to focus just on workplace in today's video, and just as a reminder, you need to be monitoring 2 learners or colleagues. Okay, so your learners will each experience 2 different workplace assessments. For each assessment, you do need to include our 3 assessment methods. Those are observation of performance, questions to be asked after the assessment to the learner or colleague, and finally we have products of work as well. Now, products of work is completed by the learner who's taking place within the assessment. This could be perhaps a risk assessment form or a client consultation form. So these are the documents which the learner is carrying out and writing whilst the assessment is taking place. So just to reiterate, we are looking to see examples of each within your different workplace assessments. Now behind me, this is an observation table. So for this example, okay, I'm looking at a risk assessment of a vehicle. Okay, so my first 2 assessments are for learners Luke and David, and they are each going to experience a vehicle check within their workplace. Okay. For workplace 3 and 4, they will both conduct a review of the equipment and also their clothing as well. So a PPE check is another idea as well. So these are my 2 workplace ideas that I am going to use for my own portfolio. Okay, so just to remember, each of your colleagues or learners will experience 2 different assessments. Okay, very important. Once you've established your workplace ideas, the next step is to carry out your workplace assessment front sheet. As we can see on our example, we have a range of different information, such as inputting your name, the assessor, the course location, so where you did the course. If you're an online learner, please simply write online. The date you started the course as well, okay? And also the assessment details. This is the person that you are conducting your assessment on, so your learner. For example, here we have Luke. We have the assessment location, where the assessment's taking place, and also the date as well. It's also important to highlight which workplace assessment this is. For example, this is number 3. Okay, so just to remember, we are expecting to see a completed front sheet to give us information about your first or your second, third or fourth assessments. Okay. The next step is the initial assessment. We need to find out about all the relevant information about the learner you will be assessing. Okay. We need to find out how experienced the learner is, okay, perhaps in their role. We also need for you to describe the assessment details, where it's going to take place, what is the course, the qualification, or the standards that you are going to be using, and if there are any additional support for the learner as well. This is our example. So we have Luke, who has worked at the company London Lawn Turf for over 10 years, and he has also been a driver and an office manager there, so very experienced. We also have details of where the assessment is taking place in London for this example, the criteria that is going to be used, okay, so it's the vehicle checks and yard safety document. We also have whether Luke needs any additional support, so no additional support needed, okay, and will there be a qualified assessor present? We have one of our team members, Martin Smith, who is there for this assessment, just monitoring the assessment. And just remember, you will need to be observed by either a member of the Train 18 once, or you need to be observed by a qualified assessor as well. So just remember that. If there's no assessor present there, qualified assessor present, then simply put, no assessor present. Lastly, we have the learner name and signature and date as well. So very important that you get your learner to write their details and to sign there. Okay. So very important that you fill in our initial assessment form for each of your assessment. The next step is the assessment plan. So moving on to the assessment plan. So we need details again of the date, the timings, the location of your assessment, okay, the planned activity, okay, so what it is that you will be observing, and also any pre-assessment targets. So you could perhaps set some homework or some targets for the learner to prepare for their assessment. In this example here, we have our learner Luke, who is going to revise the latest risk assessment policies and procedures relevant to the assessment as well. The assessment methods have been highlighted for workplace, so we're focusing on observations, questions and work product. So please do highlight our chosen 3. We also have the learner signature and the assessor signature, which is you, and also the date as well. So very important for you to include that information there. Okay. The red writing under the form says to please include any units, specification and criteria. Okay, so within your assessment template, we are looking to see the different criteria or standards that you are going to be using to assess your learner against. Okay, this example is simply 1 page long. Okay, and here we have 1, 2, 3 different criteria sections as well. So do include your criteria that you are going to be assessing your learner against. It doesn't have to be too detailed here. Now the next section is the observation. As we can see from our picture here, we have the assessor Tom, who is going to be reviewing Luke, who is doing a risk assessment on a vehicle there. Okay, when you're conducting your observation, please write a running commentary, okay, of what you are seeing. Okay, so from the start all the way to the finish. You also need the evidence reference section to be completed as well. So these are the standards which you are going to be assessing against. So your criteria should map up with the observation notes. But again, very important to include the assessment date and details there. Okay. Now, after the assessment has taken place, you also need to carry out the questions as well. We'd like for you to plan roughly 5 to 6 different questions, okay? And the question and answer section should take place within perhaps a private room or an office, like this example here. and your questions should be written out prior to the observation taking place. So you should perhaps list 5 or 6 assessment questions that you know you're going to ask the learner. It's very important that you write down the learner's response to each of your questions. And finally, there should be evidence, okay, that you have mapped each question to the criteria or standards that you are using. Very important not to catch your learner out with any unnecessary or unexpected questions. So do make the questions relevant here. One very important point is photos. So during your assessment, we are expecting to see 5 or 6 different photos. So as you're observing, please do take photos, perhaps on a phone or camera. And also you just need to detail where the assessment section is taking place. So for example, number A here is simply checking the tyres. B is also rear lights and reflectors being checked there. So we do need to see a bit of mapping, okay, to see what assessment has been reviewed. We also would like for you to sign and date here. Also get your learner to sign as well and put the date on there. After the question and answer section, you have feedback as well. So it's very much important for you as the assessor to let them know if the learner has passed first, or if it's a referral, if they need to perhaps do the assessment again. It's very important to say that first. Then what are the learner's strengths and areas for development as well. Okay. So here we have the assessor feedback, okay, so you need to write down some feedback notes, and also very important for the learner to write down how they found the assessing experience, okay. Were they happy with the planning of the assessment? Did they have enough time, okay? Were the pre-assessment targets suitable? Were they perhaps relaxed on the day? So that's information for you to take on board as the assessor. Once that is complete, you do need to set them an action plan or target. So these could be SMART targets or goals for them to improve their own practice in the future. At the end of the form, we have the learner signature and the assessor signature and the date as well. So very important you do include those signatures on there. That is it for today's workplace video. We hope you found it useful, okay. Please can you send in your completed assessments to the team at assessments@train-aid.co.uk. They will review each assessment for you. If you do have any ideas or questions in regards to your assessments or CAVA course, please give us a call on our office number, or email the team at info@train-aid.co.uk. Once again, all of us from TrainAid wish you the best in terms of your courses. If you'd like to get in contact or are interested in any course, please do so. From all of us here at TrainAid, thank you very much for watching our video.